So let's start with the definition of a fixed asset tracking solution. Asset tracking helps to track and monitor asset allocation and movements within an organization with ease and accuracy. It enhances asset utilization by tracking physical assets spread across multiple departments, floors, buildings. It manages the routine maintenance, movements, and accounting-related aspects like auditing, depreciation, and disposal of the assets. Up-to-date and accurate fixed asset inventories and accounting records make it easier to identify theft and enable prosecution and recovery. Asset tracking occurs when companies track their assets using barcode system or RFID system. Organizations face many issues in tracking their assets like lack of proper account of the access to the asset. Companies have lot of ghost assets that are mentioned in the books but physically it's untraceable. Asset needs to be tracked to maximize the value of an investment portfolio over time. Here we can see the asset life cycle, the flow chart. So now let's go to why this company, why Technowave. We are Technowave group of companies help you to track assets using the technical expertise that we hold for over decades. We have already served over 100 of clients using this advanced technology of the time. Technowave was established in the year 1999 in United Arab Emirates. Since then, the firm has grown substantially with its own branch offices in the Kingdom of Bahrain, Sultanate of Oman, India, Kuwait, and having clients and resellers all over the world. From providing barcoding and RFID solutions and equipments, the company has diversified into providing the best of the breed barcoding technology, RFID, mobile computing solutions, wireless gadgets for enterprises, ID cards solutions, access control systems, and business application software in several arenas. Technowave has a team of qualified and skillful technical and marketing professionals. Let's talk about the nomenclature as well. This is where we talk about the type of coding, the prefixes that a company can have. Company has a company code, sequence number which will be the part of the asset code. There are two provisions for asset code creation, manually and automatically. In automatic provision, once the company sets the prefixes, the company has nomenclatures like category abbreviation. The system will generate asset codes automatically based on the prefix and the asset category set by the company. Now let's see who needs a fixed asset tracking systems. Various organizations, corporate office, financial institutions, hospitality sectors, healthcare institutions, oil refineries, etc. can use the asset tracking system to track and monitor their multiple assets like furniture inside conference rooms, cabins, air conditioners, and electronic gadgets like laptops, desktop, and desktop accessories. Our in-house fixed asset tracking solution will enable to have the following provisions: increase lifespan of assets, scheduling and setting alerts on maintenance, reduce maintenance expenses, efficient asset auditing, facilitate authorized access to assets, software integration. Fixed asset tracking solution integrates with your ERP software seamlessly. This is done in 3 ways. Company provides flat files, staging tables, API integration. We are offering Avery Dennison Smart Track Tags portfolio for tagging various types of assets. Avery Dennison has more than 1,000 patented designs of tags and labels for various applications. In this package, we have included 3 types of labels to cover majority of the assets in an office environment. In addition to that, there are plenty of hard tags available. One is the AD665, which is used for tagging a variety of assets that needs to be read from a long distance. Second is the Avery Smart Track Mini Web label, which can be used to tag small and medium-sized assets such as accessories. Both these labels, AD665 and Mini Web labels, must be applied on only non-metallic surfaces. The third label is the AD456, which is ideal for items with metallic surfaces. Now for places such as the hotels, they can use these special tags, which are the linen tags. What you can do is you can actually just stitch it along with it with the cloth. Similar to that, we have another tag which is also linen tag, but for any material of clothing which you have been stitched and you can't do anything about that, all you do is place it on the linen and you iron them. So these are the ironable tags and you can stick on it. Now both these tags that we are discussing about have a wash cycle lifespan of 200 wash cycles. Next, we start tagging all the office equipments. One thing to keep in mind is when you are tagging the office equipments, asset code has to be linked to those individual assets simultaneously. Follow the process to link the asset code to the RFID tags or labels. Log in to the mobile software by entering the user ID and password provided to you. Once you log in, click on the download button. This makes sure that the complete master data are downloaded to the device. Next, click on the asset link button on the new screen. You can see a read button. Once you click on the read button, the RFID code will be displayed on the screen next to the read button. You have an option to search the assets from the list, or you can select the asset from the table provided. Once you click on a particular asset from the table, it will display the asset code and asset name. You have to make sure that you select the right asset that you are going to link. Then click on the Save button. So here we have the printer, and the ideal place to have the tag is right at the back. This is how we tag a server. Just make sure that if it is of metallic surface and use only the on metal tags here. The placement should be either at the back or the side. Now we will show you the right placement of the tag on the network switch. Just place it underneath. Since this is a metallic item, we once again use the on metal tag. Here we tag the power supply. Placement shouldn't be anywhere over here or in the middle, as there are circuits and other metal components inside. The ideal place is right here. Take the mini web label and stick it right here. Make sure when you apply, you do not press the middle portion of the tag as the sensor is situated there. All organizations will have different types of cables as assets, starting from the tool room to your IT rooms. Certain cables such as the HDMI cables to power cables and special cables. For these cables, you have a special label called the dumbbell label. Simply tie it around the cable's end. Now we will show how we tag ACs, air conditioners. For split ACs, what we do is you try to identify somewhere on the sides where it is plastic, and we use the non-metallic tags, which is the AD665. Now we are going to tag the biometric devices. What you have to do is making sure that is there any place in the back where there is no metallic surfaces. It has to be smooth plastic area. Next is tagging the pots of the plants. You assess them by the plant type and the pot. Ideally, you would put the label outside where there is no contact with the water. What we do now is tagging the vehicles. The optimum place to put the tag is actually on the windscreen right here. There are other places where we can tag, which is the dashboard, but we're gonna make sure that there are no metallic surfaces around. It has to be plastic. Similarly, to tag smaller vehicles like scooters and bikes, Place it on the areas where there is plastic. There are other tags which are specifically used for tagging the outdoor assets. The tag material are made with material that varies from ceramic tags to other plastic materials which are high heat resistant as well. Next, we talk about tagging documents. A part of document tracking solutions. Companies have a lot of these intangible assets, certain documents like passports, visas, GST certificates, company incorporation certificates, VAT certificates, and import and export licenses, and other NDAs that has been signed, with other customers. And there are a lot of confidential documents that you have for your employees in the company. So these things has to have a custodian responsible for, and that has to be tracked as well. So what we do is now we have tagging all these assets as well. So now, for example, when you have a document, you tag at the back of it, at the bottom. That's the ideal place to tag it. When you have collective, documents, not just one, you don't have to individually tag them. You can put them all together and you can actually put them into a pouch. It's a self-sealable pouch. So this way what happens is, once we have the pouch closed, each time a custodian uses it, you'll have to reseal the pouch or you will have a new pouch used again. It will actually keep the custodian responsible for the person who has tracked it last. A couple of things for convenience sake. What we can do is that you can scan these documents and add it to the gallery of each asset record. What happens is that it makes it easy for whenever you want to fetch a document and you want to take it out, you can just simply go to the asset records and download them, or you can just send a file transfer to that as well. Welcome to the fixed asset tracking system. What you see now is the login page of the fixed asset tracking system. Type the client ID, username and password and you click login. This is the dashboard of the application. Now let's first configure the software settings. In the menu bar on the left, click Setup, and in the drop-down menu, click Configure. Parameter setting window is displayed. Now, either the asset code generation can be created automatically or manually. Now let's set to automatic. Based on the number of digits which you have entered here, the company ID would be prefixed in the asset coding structure. Category in the asset coding structure can be selected as code or abbreviation. The number of digits is set as 3 for the category. Sequence specifies the number of digits to be included in the asset code, and the code generated gets incremented. Company short name can be mentioned in the asset code. Category 1 is the major category. Category 2 is the minor category. Category 3 and 4 can be defined by the company by clicking the In Use Check button. Category 3 can be linked to Category 2 and Category 4 can be linked to Category 3. Asset location is linked to Asset Master. Once we click on the Enable button, asset location can be edited on the masters. If mail is required, you can click the Mail Required Check button. Account currency can be selected from the drop-down menu. Accounting period can be selected from the Date Pick option. Depreciation type can be set as straight line or diminishing. Depreciation can be set as date-wise or month-wise. If selected month-wise, the month of purchase and the month of sale can be excluded. There are 12 user-defined fields which can be described as text, integer, number, and date. Once you enter all these information, you click on the Save button. Now in the default asset view, you select the description of the asset as the user would like to view. Default value settings, you have the branch, department, building, division, room, custodian, and vendor. Once you select the required values, you click on Save. Now we go to the mail setting. Here you can enter the from address, password, SMTP address, port number, and the SSL, which can be set to true or false. Now you go back to the setup and go into setting the roles. In the user role screen, click New, enter the role name. You select the permission needed as add, edit or delete. Once everything is completed, you click on Save and Close to store changes and exit. So here a new user role is added as System Admin. Here you can see the System Admin. The new role you have set is displayed on the table. You can edit, clone or delete. You can also export the details to Excel. Once you open Excel, you can see the saved details in Excel. Now let's set a user for this. User screen is displayed and user created earlier is listed in the table. If there are no new users created, the table will be empty. To create a new user, click on New and you enter the values. Then you click on the Save button and close. So while we enter the details here, you make a note that all the ones with the red asterisks are mandatory fields to be filled. Now you can see the new user that was created displayed on the screen. We can now sign out and we can set the same client ID and you can enter the username that was created and password that was set. Then click Login. This is the new user logged in under their own ID. You can manage the assets using the new login of the user. Now we have logged out of the user that was created and let's log in with the admin user to look at the other functionalities. On the setup menu, you click on the status menu. So status is the condition of the asset. You can define it here as you enter the mandatory status name and if needed, remarks you can enter here. Please note the status ID is displayed automatically, so you have to enter the short remark of the status. Once it is done, click on Save and Close. Similarly, you have the Edit option and the Clone option. Now we add a company. Click on New and you can enter the company details. The company ID is preset and you enter the company name, which is mandatory, and you can click on Save and Close. After that, you go to Assign Company. This is where you can actually scroll down and choose the username and we can assign the number of companies to that user and click Assign button and the assigned companies are saved. The pop-up message will be displayed. So in case of multiple companies, different companies will be listed in the Select Company screen. So you click on the Change to enter into other company details. Next is the option to upload the documents to the assets. Please note that uploading the document can be done only after creating the master. So we will get back to the document upload and year-end process once we create them in the asset master. Now we go on to the tools. If your company already have the list of assets, you can import them by using this option. So you can select the master, you can choose either the asset master, custodian or vendor master, and based on that you can download the template and you can add the asset details for uploading the format as shown in the screen. So these are the fields you need to enter and then you may enter the field which are undefined and can be created as per the user's specification. Likewise, you can import the custodian master as well as the vendor master into the software by downloading the respective templates. Once you have entered the details to the template, we can look for the file on your local computer. Make sure you have selected the right file. Click on the Upload button. On the screen, you can see the list of Excel sheets. Select the right sheet. You have an option to preview the sheet before you are importing into the software. Once you had made sure that everything has been entered, you can click on the Import button. Now, under the menu tools, you have the next option called Change Password. Under this option, you can enter the current password, you can enter the new password, and you can re-enter the new password. Once you are done, you can click on the Change Password. This will make sure you have changed to the new password. Next, we will move to the next option under the menu tools, Recycle Bin. Under this option, you can see the complete list of assets which you might have deleted intentionally or unintentionally from the Asset Master. On the screen, you have two options, either to restore the assets to the Asset Master list by clicking on the Restore button, or if you want to completely remove or delete the assets, you can click on the Purge button. Let's move to the next option, Image Gallery. On the screen, you have the option to upload the image of the assets by clicking on the New button on the new window. You can enter the image name, for example, table in this case. Click on the Browse button to look for the image saved in the local computer. Select the image and click Open. Once you are done, click on the Upload button. You can see a message on the window which mentions the file is uploaded and the image on the window. Click on the Save button and on the screen you can see the new image name is listed on the table. Now we go to the next option under the menu tools called the File Gallery. Under this option, you can add any files pertaining to an asset like the operational or user manuals. To add a new document or file, click on the New button on the new window. You can enter the document name like UPS manual. Click on the Browse button. Select the file and click Open and click on the Upload button. Once the upload is completed, you will get a message on the window mentioning the file is uploaded. Then click on the Save button to complete the process. Once you save, you can see on the screen the new document name listed. Now in the Masters, you go under Assets and this lists all the assets which are available. Before creating assets, make sure you create major category and minor category branch, division, department, building, room, custodian, and vendor. Under major category, you can see the listed category. Click on New. The IDs are preset. Now enter all the mandatory fields which are shown in the asterisks. Now we have the category code, category name, and set the depreciation according to company specifications, which is in the percentage value. Select the asset type from the drop-down. The abbreviation is the short form which you want to have in the asset code. Here we have OFE for the office equipments. We can have the salvage in percentage or value and then save and close. We can see the office equipment showing on the screen. To add the details of a minor category like major category, we have an option to choose the major category list from the drop down and set the minor category like air conditioner, and it falls under the major category of office equipment. Here we have the option to choose the field as per the view required by the end user. You can save the view or reset to the previous view. Now to create the custodians, like other option, click on New. Enter the employee number and all the mandatory fields that have the asterisk mark on it. Salutation, custodian name and department the custodian falls under. Choose it from the drop-down menu and other such fields which are not mandatory. You can fill it out and save and close. The custodian appears on the list. Now to create a branch, click on New. The mandatory field over here is only the branch name. Enter the branch name like Kuwait and save. You can see the new branch name on the screen. Next, to create the division, click on New button enter the division name, which is a mandatory field, and click Save. Now to create a department, click on the New button, enter the department name, which you like to have, and save and close. Next, to create a building master, click on New, enter the building name, like Main Office, save and close. Now, to create different rooms in Office, click on New, enter the room name, like Screening Room, and save. The new room appears on the screen. Now we add the vendor. The vendor details are created over here. The vendor name is the mandatory field. There are other such details to enter like address, country, state, zip code, etc. Once again, the vendor ID will be preset. The created vendor will be listed on the screen. Here we conclude the masters. Now we can create the assets. Go into the assets and click on the New button. And you can see the asset code as new. The asset code is predefined. Now enter the asset name, major category, and minor category from the drop-down list. Type the asset name, choose the major category, select the minor category that is linked to the selected major category. The branch name division. When you choose the branch name division, department building along with the room and custodian automatically populates on the text boxes. Now you can scroll on each and choose the value you want to add to the asset. Now you can select the number of asset quantity. The plus sign shown on the right side of the screen, those are the ones for the parameters which have not been created before, which you can create on the go. This is a shortcut instead of you going all the way back to the masters for creating those. From branches all the way up to custodian can be created then and there. Once we save and close, the asset gets created, and if you had not completed entering all the parameters which is there, you can always go back, and after selecting the asset, you can edit the particular asset. In this case, we have the sofa there, and there are certain other parameters like purchase, other image, and user defined. Now we are under the purchase. Select the vendor, particular date of purchase, and the purchase value for which the currency can be selected from the drop-down list. Select the particular currency. The purchase value below that is in gray, which is the preset one which is already in the configuration. Enter the purchase value, date of installation, other such details like serial number, model number, making, manufacture, useful life, and you can set the expiry date. Now move on to the others. Here you can enter the status of the asset, in what condition it is, and you can add here the parent assets. If you need to link any asset to the parent asset, you can do it by selecting the parent asset in Others option. Now since we have selected the parent asset here, this asset which is getting created becomes the child asset. The benefit of having this option is in order to segregate the assets for the purpose of maintenance. You can actually separate them and treat them as individual. To enter the insurance details, select the insurance agency name. Select the valid from date, then you can select the valid to date when the insurance period ends, and enter the insured value of the particular asset. Next, you can enter the insurance amount or the premium. You can set the renewal and click on Accept button. The next thing is to add the images from the image gallery. It will show the image on the screen. You can add any documents or manual to the particular asset from here. Now on the next tab is the user-defined screen. You can enter the user-defined fields over here, which you have configured in the previous setup menu. Once you're done, save the details. Next, we move on to the transaction. First, in the transaction, we have the asset transfer. Under asset transfer, you can either transfer one asset at a time or you can transfer multiple assets at a time. You can simply choose a particular asset or multiple assets, and you can select bulk transfer and select date after that. The location you want to transfer to the particular division that has to go to the department, it will go under. So all these fields have asterisks and those are mandatory fields to be filled. Enter the name of the user who has requested to have the asset transfer. Please note transactions are only completed after approval by the authorized personnel. Choose an approver from the drop-down list and select the checkbox next to the Send for Approval field. You can see a new document ID created and the document ID numbers are shown. So when you go back to the dashboard under the transfer, you can see 2 pending approvals. When you click on that, you can directly go into transfer list and you can check the assets with the information pertaining to that. Now you can choose the asset and you can either approve or reject. And you can add the remarks like OK to transfer. Then you click OK and select Send. Now, as you see on the asset transaction approval screen, you have 3 options, which are transfer, sale, and disposal. Next is the draft. All the transactions that are under process are set to be in the draft stage. You can edit the transactions that are available in your workspace and then send to the authorized user for approval. Now, move to the next option to show you as how to enter an asset add-on to a particular asset. For this, you need to select the asset from the list. Once you have selected the asset, you have the provision to enter the remarks or reason for adding on the asset cost. You can enter the remarks like cushion to be replaced as shown on the screen. Select the date on which it was entered. Also, you can enter the value of asset add-on and click on the Save button. Now we have the asset depreciation. Under this, you select the transactions and asset depreciation, and under the depreciation, you select the depreciation month from the drop-down list and you start the depreciation for that particular month. Next, we move on to the asset sale. You have to select the type of sale, whether it's a bulk asset or single asset. Click on the type of sale and you choose the particular asset code. The description of the asset is preset and then you have the sale value at which you want to sell the asset for. Then you have the save option. Even here, under the asset sale, to send the approval with the details to the approving authority. Next option is asset disposal. In the main menu bar under transaction, select the asset disposal. On the new screen, you can select the type of disposal and you can select between the single disposal and bulk disposal. Now select the disposal type and the asset code. Enter the remarks, disposal date and send it for approval. Next, you can fill in the maintenance information. When you click the maintenance, you will have list of assets which is under maintenance or which is about to go for maintenance. You can select one particular asset. Once you select that, the asset information gets populated on the new window along with its details. The purpose of this is to create a maintenance schedule such as the service start date. For example, you can assign a custodian to that for maintenance and you can set a maintenance mode such as automatic or manual. You can set the service start date. You can enter the recurring maintenance months, and you can enter the number of services required. Once the details are entered, you can click on Save button. And then you have the service date automatically populated on the right side of the window with all the next service dates, which is going to be fixed. Now you can come back to the previous screen and click on the refresh button, and on the screen you can see column for scheduled services. The number has changed accordingly, and when you go back to the dashboard, maintenance notification is displayed. To record asset maintenance, you can either click on the dashboard where the maintenance due is displayed, or you can go under maintenance and you can choose a particular asset and you can click the edit button. It will pop up a window on the screen with the information of that particular asset maintenance details. You can edit anywhere and an extra information like contact detail. If there is a change in the service done date, you can change that as well. There are two options to notify the company about maintenance cost, which is to expense out or add to asset. If you are doing maintenance and if it is adding a cost to the asset, and if you know the amount, select Add to Asset Ratio button. Or you can have the expenses out where the cost is actually written off. Expenses out will be the amount that will not be added to the asset, and it will be a cost that is being charged and paid off by the company. And you can have the service description. Then you can click on the Save button once again when you go to the previous screen and press the refresh button. You can see the scheduled service count has changed. Next is the check-in checkout. This is where you can monitor whether the asset is going out or coming back into the company. Once you choose an asset from the list, you can select checkout and then enter the remarks and click process. Once you process it, the asset is checked out, as you can see on the message displayed. For check-in, you can bring back the asset by clicking the check-in and you will get a message on the right side stating it has been checked in, the check-in checkout process. Once you are done with the adding of assets to the asset master, you wish to add multiple documents. You have an option under the menu setup. Click on the document upload. On the screen, you can see the list of assets which were added earlier. If you wish to add the document to a particular asset, you can click on the upload button against the asset. On the new window, you can see the option to choose the file. Now choose the files needed and click open, and you can click on the upload files. After a while, you will get a message mentioning that the files are uploaded. Also, it will prompt that no duplicate files are uploaded. If you wish to delete any of the documents, select the document and click on delete. Next, if you want to change the current financial year and carry forward the current financial year to the next year, you have an option under setup called Yearned Process. On the screen, you can see the current financial year. Once you click on the Start Process button, the software will automatically calculate the depreciation for the current financial year, and it will set the date to the new financial year. Now we come to the auditing and reporting part of the application. In the legacy systems, there used to be huge waste of time in manual auditing, and as well as to find the assets, it was cumbersome. Before you start auditing, the first step is to install the software in the Android mobile device. You need to double-click, which brings a small window. You can either cancel or continue with the installation. Once installation is completed, you can open the software by clicking on the Open button. On the new screen, it will prompt you to get the license for the software. Also, you can see at the bottom a message which mentions that the device is not registered. Once you click on Get License button, the software will prompt you to enter the device name on which the software is installed. Once you enter the device name and click Submit, it takes you back to the previous screen. On the screen, you can see the status has changed to pending. Retry. Also, you can see a message on the bottom asking you to get the approval from the web admin. Once you get the approval from the administrator, it will take to the login screen of the mobile software. On the screen, you have the option to enter the customer ID by clicking on the globe icon. Enter the customer ID provided to you and click on the Save button. Also, below the globe button, you have an option to download the users for the mobile software. Once you click on the button, it will bring up a small window prompting you to download the users to the mobile software. Once the downloading is completed, it opens a small window. It shows that the download is successfully completed. Here is how we perform this auditing task. Once you select the location, building, and other attributes, then you go ahead with auditing task. You will see two lists that will be displayed on the mobile software. One is the scan details and the other one is to be audited list. The to be audited list will show all the assets that are allocated to that particular location. As the auditing process goes on, you will see the scanned assets move from the to be audited list to the scanned detail list. Before auditing, make sure you have connected your Android device to the RFID reader as shown on the screen. On the screen, click on the Bluetooth button, the third from the top. Once you click on the button, it will pop up a small window which shows the list of pair device. Select the right device from the list and click on the Close button. Now you click on the Start button on the mobile software, which will initiate the audit process. While you are doing the audit process, make sure all the assets have been scanned. If not, then go back and rescan those assets until they are populated in the scanned detail list. Always keep a check on the to be audited list on the mobile software whether the assets are being audited. However, there might be assets which are physically not available in that particular pre-assigned location, which will be later on appearing on the mismatch report in the web application. This is derived at the back office web software. Now click this top button in order to conclude the audit process. Once you conclude the audit process, by clicking on the upload button, you can upload the scanned results to the web application. Now log on to the web application, then from the menu Audit, go to Audit option. Choose the location mismatch and click the Next button. You will find the list of mismatched asset from the auditing. Click on the asset code. You will have the pop-up description of that particular asset. You can transfer the asset to their particular location. Select the asset to be transferred and click on the Asset Transfer button. The asset goes to the draft and from there it needs to be sent for approval for transfer. All the rules that are authorized for the approval can approve this transfer. Now in the audit menu, click on the Asset Verification Report and select all the fields and click on Generate to get the verification report. Similarly, you can generate Asset Missing Report from the audit menu. Before you do start auditing, make sure you follow the process as shown on the screen under the audit menu. Click on the Initializer Assets option. On the screen, you can see the number of scanned records from the previous auditing. You can either maintain the audit history by selecting the check button and click on the Initialize button to reset the scanned records to 0. Once you have done this, you can proceed further with the auditing on the mobile device. Next, let's move on to the reports. Under the reports, once you select the Master Reports, under the Master Report screen, you select the radio button next to the label for which the report has to be generated. Then you click Submit. The specific report is generated on the screen. Once it is done, there is a print option to print the report or click Save icon to save the report locally. Under the option Asset Summary, which is the next report, different parameters based on which the report you wish to have can be generated. The report will be precise. Or click Generate to create the report and click Print icon to print the report, or you have the Save icon to store the report in your system. The next report is the asset list report. If you need a precise report, select the category and the locations based on which the report will be generated. Once that is done, you click on Generate to create a report. There is the Reset option. Once you click that, all the selected values will be eliminated and all will be mentioned on the text boxes. Now we go on to the Asset Transfer report. Over here, on the Asset Transfer report, all you have to do is to set the date range, the from date to the to date, and you will get the reports which is pertaining to the date range. You will get the details of the asset transfer in the report. Once again, you can click the Reset button to reset the selected dates. There is a print option at the top. In a similar way, you can download the reports in the format that you need, like PDF, Excel, or any other format. Now, let's go to the maintenance report. Similar to the other reports, over here you set the date range, from and to date. Then you click the Submit button, where the report will be generated and shown on the right-hand side. Similarly, you can reset it and start over with setting the new dates. There is a print option at the top. Then there is the Save button and the download option in whichever format that is required. And also, there is a page toggle which you can scroll up to go to the different pages if you have multiple reports being displayed. Now, let's go to the asset sale report. Similar to the other reports, over here you set the date range from and to date. Then you click the Submit button, where the report will be generated and shown on the right-hand side. Similarly, you can reset it and start over with setting the new dates. There is a print option at the top. Then there is the Save button and the download option in whichever format that is required. And also there is a page toggle which you can scroll up to go to the different pages if you have multiple reports being displayed. Now you have the asset disposal report. You have set the from date and the to date, the date range, and click the Submit button. You have the report generated on the right side. Similarly, you have the option of resetting the selected dates and setting to the new date. At the top, you have the print option toggle between the pages, the save option and download option in the preferred format. Now on the asset add-on report, here similar to other reports, you enter the date ranges and then you click the Submit button and the report is generated on the right-hand side. And you have the Reset option to reset the selected dates. On the top, you have the print option to toggle between the pages, the save option and download option in the preferred format. Next, let's move on to the insurance expiry report. Here you need to enter the insurance expiry days expired within and the report of all the assets whose insurance expires within the entered days will be generated and listed on the right-hand side. Once you enter the expiry within days and click on Generate button. Now next is the audit trial report. This report shows all the action that was performed in the software, like the additions, addition or deletions. You can select the date range and click the Submit button. Then you will have the report generated during the selected date range. You can reset the selected dates and set the new dates. Similarly, like other reports, on the top, you have the print option to toggle between the pages, the save option and download option in the preferred format. Next, if you wish to create a report of your choice, you need to select Data Explorer menu as shown on the left side of the screen. On the screen, you can see the list of different reports. Click on one of the report, in this case Asset Report. On the screen, you can see the Asset Master. You can group based on your choice by dragging off the column onto the space provided at the tabletop. Also, you can view the grouping by clicking on the small arrow on the table. The created report will be available under the menu Custom Report. Next, you can enter the new report name. In this case, it's asset name wise. Once you are done with entering the new report name, you can proceed with saving. Also, you have an option called Field Chooser, which allows you to remove any field that you wish not to be displayed on the report. You can reset the view or save the report. To see the report displayed under the custom report, the steps is to go to the Setup menu. Under the Setup, select the role for which you wish to display the report. Click on Edit. In this case, it is Administrator. You can see the new custom report displayed. Select the report and save. Now under the custom report, you can see the new report in the format you had intended. You can either export to Excel or PDF. Once you download and open the report, you can see the report of your choice.